In today's video, I have ranked all the starter and free characters from best to worst. And no, I did not include those free 4 stars that you get during the events, or alloy, or even the characters that you get from Paimon's bargains, even though technically they're not free, since they still require masterless star glitter, but at least they don't cost you any primo gems, of course. What I'm trying to say is that in today's video I have only ranked the permanent free ones, so let's get right into it, shall we? Now at the number 9, without a surprise, we have Amber. I mean, her skill is like literally worthless. It basically doesn't do anything because it only explodes after such a long time of waiting, and then barely even does any damage. While her burst does some damage, but it's very quick and it just doesn't do much. So do I really have to explain why is Amber the lowest? No? Well, if there's anything why is Amber useful in gameplay, it's just at the very beginning, just to show you how the pyro works and how to use the bow characters. Nothing else. And in number 8 we have, surprisingly, Barbara. I mean, I know that Barbara is actually a pretty good starter character, but of course she's only good at the start. When I was a beginner, she even carried my account, but of course, for all of us, as time goes on, she just unfortunately doesn't do that much anymore. I mean, Barbara is a Hydro healer that heals while her skill is active, but her skill has a very long cooldown, though it does last for quite some time, but the amount of cooldown it has, it's just not worth it. So she can also be used in a Bloom teams or no Danger teams, as an on-field Hydro spreader, as Barbara loves to splash water all over the enemies, but that will be really coming only from her normal attacks. What about Burst? Well, all her burst does is heal, nothing else, not even apply Hydro to the enemies, okay? Now speaking of Barbara, the next one will be probably even more shocking. And the number 7 we have is Collei. Now I know that Collei is very good in general and can apply lots of danger in short amount of time, but later on you will find yourself using better danger characters, of course. That is if you even will play with her, since Danger Shadow already does better job than her anyway. Now when using her skill, she will throw a boomerang at the enemies, which really just doesn't do that much, and her burst will make her create a quick danger field. And overall, I don't really see on why we wanna be ever using Collei unless if you like her, because you can always just replace her with a Danger Traveler, or even worse for her, as time goes on, you get better Danger characters like Nahida or pretty much anyone else. It just does a better job than Collei, unfortunately. Now next up on the list is Lynette. Now Lynette has the same type of skill, which is like the same ability as Yelan's ability, except that Lynette can only mark one enemy and then deal damage to it afterwards, of course. Now Lynette's burst makes her plant a hat that will continuously deal ammo damage while taunting the enemies, of course. It also buffs party members' attack based on how many elemental types are in the party setup. Overall, Lynette is a pretty nice starter animo character to have, of course at least better than the Animo Traveler. But I would still say that she is a pretty decent character that does the job at the start of the game, but at the same time she can also easily be replaced later on in the game by better animo characters. Now coming at the number 5, we have Noelle. Now Noelle is just a very friendly and nice character for beginning. She is a great shielder, very strong shield. But the main problem about her shield that it lasts literally for the half amount of time of its cooldown. Now her burst makes her like a main DPS character. Basically what it does is that it upgrades Noelle's Claymore into this huge geo damage dealer. Though as you will get to the higher levels and you will need to deal with the harder enemies, you would wanna use a better shielder or main DPS damage dealers, of course. Coming at the number 4 we have is Lisa. Now Lisa is just great. She can deal some really good damage and actually even can do pretty good job at even the higher levels. Now Lisa is actually one of the few beginner characters that can also be easily used in the end game and still be a viable option. She specifically works fantastic in Danger teams, especially when she creates a nice Electro field. Though Lisa's main problem is that she can be later on easily replaced by better Electro characters that just do better job than her, not just 5 stars. This also includes even the 4 stars, which are obviously cheaper than the 5 stars. And the worst part is that their constellations are also easier to get than Lisa's. Finally, at the number 3, my boy Kaeya. Now Kaeya is an amazing character that is very underrated, okay? I also recently talked about him in my latest video, and the point of Kaeya is that he has some really good cryo application abilities. The whole point of Kaeya's kit is that Kaeya is a super fast type of character who quickly freezes the enemies, dealing good amount of cryo damage, and his burst, which is his heart of his kit, just follows your active character around, dealing decent amount of cryo damage, which also makes Kaeya a great cryo sub DPS for freeze and melt teams. But once again, unfortunately same with Amber and Lisa, these constellations are also very hard to get but he's still always a very good option if you need like a cryo sub DPS, you know, a cryo applicator. Now finally, the main character of the game. At number 2 we have is none other than the Traveler, aka either Lumine or Adder. Of course, Traveler is the only character who can switch to all different elements in the game. Well, currently 5 of them. Since Pyro and Cryo are not out yet, and the worst part is that most of the elemental Travelers just suck. However, Danger on the other hand is just absolutely amazing. It creates a good danger field that lasts for quite some time, while dealing very good damage. And even the best part is that unlike with Amber, Kaeya and Lisa, Traveler's constellations are the opposite. Traveler's ones are just super easy to get. All you have to do is like play the game, complete the specific quests, and they will reward you the constellations for Traveler's specific element depending on what quests you completed, of course. And who knows, maybe one day Traveler might even be better than Xiangling, who yes, of course, with our surprise is coming up next. And of course, we never know how good will the Pyro Traveler be, which of course, Pyro Traveler might also be better than Xiangling. You never know. And of course, now speaking of Xiangling, yes, is that even a surprise? Xiangling is without a doubt currently a first place out of all the free characters you get in the game. In fact, of course, Xiangling is literally one of the best current characters you get in the game, at least one of the 4-star ones, since her burst is just a better version of Kaeya's burst because it has a larger AoE, deals more damage, etc. Just fantastic for Vaporize, Burgeon, Meld, Overloaded, pretty much any Pyro team. Her only biggest problem, I would say, is that Goba can miss its shots from time to time and that her burst has high energy cost. But in the end, this is also not that big of a deal. She doesn't even feel like a free character because she's like literally one of the best characters you get in the game. Yet she's somehow a free character? Like what? Either way, thanks for watching this video. Hoping this video helped you out. Here I made another ranking video, you know, about the colored characters. So you can also take a look at this video. And without further ado, I will see you all in my next video.